It is great to have you join us for the 2015-16 HSBC World Rugby Women's Series in Brazil's biggest city, Sao Paulo. Olá, it is day 2 here at Arena Boede, and we had it all yesterday. Thunder, lightning and some heavenly sevens. The Women's Series consists of 5 stops this season, and it all began in December on the hot sands of Dubai, where Australia was smoking hot.
Bring your game to be a champion, and that's exactly what Australia have done in the Cup final. Your women's champions in Dubai, Australia.
The series' second stop is here in the hot, humid city of Sao Paulo, usually a town crazy about football, but this time it's crazy about sevens. Then the teams will have a month off before they go to Atlanta in the USA, fifth Third Bank Stadium on the first weekend in April. Then in back-to-back weekends, Canada will host the 12 teams in Langford, British Columbia, where they are just crazy about rugby. The final round is in France, Clermont-Ferrand. The first time the French have hosted a leg where the overall series winner will be crowned. Here in Brazil, the 12 teams are divided into 3 pools. Pool A, arguably the toughest, as winners in Dubai, Australia, are up against an experienced Canadian team, the unpredictable Fijians, and improving Ireland. Pool B has defending champions New Zealand heading that one up. And the final pool's also tough. France and England very familiar with each other. Host Brazil and Japan complete the 4. The points available, 20 for the tournament winner. It goes down in 2s, all very important in terms of Olympic seedings for all the qualifying sides. Well, day 1 round robin was outstanding, so let's take a look.
Defence has been excellent from Fiji after some early stutters. That is a super pass, and what a line from Terry. Oh, this is absolutely pure from Australia. That is good as you're going to see. And now Fiji again with a chance. Landry. In and away. That's a huge step. How about the step on Landry?
Tony Gatto at scrum half. We've got 10 seconds to play. Australia keep the ball and you have the victory. Green, she's going to go. Little stop and show. Green tries to break through and the ball's kept alive and Beck on the end of it. And that, folks, will be that. Nicole Beck seals it for Australia. Irish hearts are broken. Quick tap and go, this time from Nangasau. Shipped one on. Fiji dangerous. This is where they love to offload. Tamoy, ball on the outside. It's a foot race, so Flynn's not going to get that. Her own Githa touches down for Fiji into the corner, and Fiji retake the lead.
Australia have somehow found a way to tear it back. Now Tonagato holds a pass up. Quirk taps it on across to Polite. Polite going to back herself in and away on Farella. Oh my goodness. Polite went in, then darted the other way, and in a blink, she has skipped clear and grabbed Australia's first. Canada playing quickly through Kish. Kish in and around, and now powering at the line, Jen Kish. The counter ruck is awesome from Australia. Kazlik swooped through, picked up the loose ball, and is going to back herself to go the distance. Well, there was nothing doing for Australia, but that's what the top teams can do. They'll sting you from all over.
Quick tap. Brazier. Oh, Brazier. That's just lovely. So close to the line, can Brazier finish off what she started? Yes, she can. Individual brilliance there.
As the United States look to get this going again, the pace is going to be Rachel Greenling is going to touch down. Well, they call her Hunter, and that was a Hunter's punch for the try. Look at that from Potter. She watched that ball every step. Beautiful soft hands, and you won't stop Hunter from there.
They set it up again. Nathan Wong at that first 5 position. Fata Simpkins this time on the inside. Gives the cup back to McAllister. She recycles it to Brazier. This looks good for New Zealand. They've got numbers to burn. Tui pushes it out to Manuel. And Huriana Manuel in the corner. Very sweet indeed. About 3 or 4 phases. Lovely work. Manuel. Got numbers out there, but Chubik doesn't need it. Here's McAllister. What can McAllister put out there this time? Well, it's easy. She puts out another try just like that. Curves her way through the defence. It's just beautiful. Try number 4.
The rain comes down. Nice way to cool it off. The clock ticks down now. Standing and steering back against the traffic and just adding a little bit of sugar on top of the scoreline is Naya Taper. Yeah, why not, Naya? That's a wonderful try in the rain in Brazil. Her first try in the Sevens World Series.
Vamos ao primeiro jogo do dia. Seleção da Inglaterra enfrentando.
They managed to retain possession. Now they pick and go, and it's hard graft, but England are up to the challenge presented there now. Watmore goes across to the opening try scorer. Fisher, oh, get out of the way. Heather Fisher so strong up top and said, hey, this is how you do it. I've got my second try. England managed to come away with it and taking it for a little spinning tight is McLean. Shows good power through contact. Here comes the lady of the moment. Watmore throws that enormous right fend out and then dives in. Watmore, we've seen it plenty of times before and we'll see it plenty more times in the future. Watmore going in.
Shannon Izar standing in acres of space here on this near side. If they spread this one, Thomas, the hands should do it because Izar has plenty of gas and there's nobody near at the moment now. Can she put the head down? Here she is, Shannon Izar. Tries to fend. Oh, beautiful legs. Kicks it clear. Towards the 22. Shannon Izar. Is it going to be a brilliant solo try from Shannon Izar on a hat-trick? Santini, oh, cannot get there. What a try. What a hat-trick from Shannon Izar. No room to move for her. Again, Ishibashi and Santini combine to release Brazil out of the traps here. She runs all the way across the field. They say never do it, but I tell you what, that was effective. Little step back inside. Araujo, little pop ball. And it's going to be another one for Kohan. Brazil in free flow at the moment. Japan are being walloped. There's the feed. Ball just about gets out of the scrum. Ishibashi hands up. No, the dummy will do it. The dummy will do it for Ishibashi. Back for Brazil and back with a bang.
Off the field comes Brown. And France have got the extra woman on the park and they're going to make it count straight away. Popping it down in batting order. It has been all France. And it might come to hurt them as Richardson is the one who'll come away with it. Lovely passing from the English. Watmore gets there. Here come France. That is a super pass. This is going to be a beautiful try for France. Oh, that is skill level right out of the top drawer.
So New Zealand ended up top of the pops heading into the quarterfinals. France second, Australia third. The Aussies were up first against Fijiana, a tough opponent to take down. The Kiwis strong favourites against hosts Brazil. France would have a difficult one against Canada, and the United States faced England. Enjoy the action.
Kazlik feeds. She'll tap up to Quirk. Out wide is Cherry. Cherry's got toe. Cherry's got the toe to go the distance, and Australia have first points in this Cup quarter final. They've set up camp to the right of your screens, wherever you're watching on around the world. Now, Eldia Green is going to try and just do it all herself. Big time player delivers for Australia. That is a huge moment in this one.
New Zealand is kicking from the right.
Here's Brazier. Fake cut back from Manuel, given out to Broughton. Broughton's up. Lovely little move there from Gail Broughton. Gets a good pass away, and who else too but Kayla McAllister. And obstruction. Oh, look at that fiend in the face. Brazier gives it to McAllister. She's over. Once again, it's a double already. Santini with the pass and just going backwards. Brazier gets an intercept and a beautiful ball off to Manuel, who hit it back on the angle. Fourth try for the Kiwis.
Canadians now from all the way on their own line. That's a dangerous looking pass because it squirted out the side, and Landry did well to break through the cover tackle and get the pass away. Giselle Landry with a piece of brilliant skill, and off she goes. Ferreira, they're not going to catch her from there. Well, Ferreira had to do the hard slog and the long yards to get there. High tackle goes in. It doesn't matter because the try is scored. Canada Robert, Kish, ball on the outside, Brittany Ben puts the head down, she's got to go into the corner. Canada will have their second try, and again France losing possession at a critical stage.
Our fourth and last Cup quarter final off and running here at the Inabereri in Sao Paulo, and it is the USA who will have first use of the ball. Deep kickoff from England. That's a good fend and run from Thomas. She's going to need some support. Or is she? Thomas hits the go button. She's away. That is the perfect start for the USA. Scoring threat of Watmore is out wide, and likewise inside is Fisher. Watmore taps it down, and England are enjoying a run of 12 unanswered points, and we got ourselves a game, team. Pressure coming now. Grubbard across the park, and this might work out for the USA. Javelay is going to burn England and extend their lead. Oh boy. JJ lands a big shot.
So to the semi-finals, the Aussies, who hadn't quite hit their straps yet, would meet the US of A, and New Zealand was up against Canada. Now make sure you don't go anywhere, because one of these two saw an upset that not many would have called.
Green on the far side, the two speedsters lined up against each other. Green on the cut ball. This woman covers 100 metres in 11.3, and she's going to take the first 5 points in the Cup semi. Green. Now with Kaslik. Kaslik holds it up at the line. Quirk on ordered pace. Polite to Turner. Turner turning it on for the Aussies. Gets around the outside of the defence, and it is all Australia through 3.5 minutes. Green taps to Kaslik. Kaslik stuttering, and he's parry on a hard line. She's done a ton of work in defence, and now is going to get brought down, but manages to do the rest from the deck parry. So powerful. Green is very well marked here, so with 4 USA players shepherding her and then getting crunched by Gillian Potter was Green. That is a super hit from Potter. Kaslik though, Potter had done all the work on Green, and then out of nowhere came Charlotte Kaslik, and Australia get the first points in the second half. Gets played between two for Avesi. That's gone back, says referee Rustavengi, but Nicole Beck just pinches it and says, I'm going to take that. Now Murphy spinning out of one. Etheridge onto the park, new fresh legs. Kaslik across to Turner. Amy Turner has 2. And Australia have punched their ticket. They're off to the big one. Ellia Green at the front. Ellia Green hurdles and scores. She's starting to hit her straps in South America. Ellia Green is smiling wide.
Oh, nice kick through. And Brazier. Whara Simpkins has got the chase on, but she overruns it. Still alive there for New Zealand, and Whara Simpkins gets it after all. She looks up, dummies, trying to go through the middle. This time Nathan Wong takes her down, but she gets up again. Yep, there's so close here. Canada, they're putting it on Landry. Landry's having to go outside Goss, and she gets around her. So they've replied the best way they can. New Zealand under all kinds of pressure. And Landry just trying to go on the outside again, but the defence is holding. And here's Maleshki. Maleshki went on the left-hand side. And this is a turn-up for sure. Oh, Jen Kish. How about that, eh? Up in the air, she's still going, Kish. Nathan Wong is chasing hard. Kish going for the corner, trying to swipe her off, and she does it all by herself, Jennifer Kish. Great start to the second half. They out-muscled them, Canada, and this time Landry will kick it out for full time. So that is a turn-up for the books. Their first ever victory for Canada. They're running onto the field. It's like they've won the final, but good on them.
Hello, and we are right in and amongst it here in the Arena Barriere in Sao Paulo. Next up, it is our bowl final. You've seen all the highlights. You've seen how our finalists have been lined up for the afternoon. Coming up off the back of this one will be Fiji v France. Fiji starting to hit their straps in the run towards the plate final. And then the big one, Australia v Canada. Canada stunning New Zealand in the semi-final. Let's get a look now at the table and how these teams stand after the one round of competition completed before Christmas back in Dubai. There is Australia at the top. New Zealand, well, They're going to pick up a couple of points here, but not the ones that they would have liked. Fiji will creep a little further ahead. You think Canada also, whilst Ireland and the US sit 11 and 12. Let's now take a look at the points available in Brazil. And it's 20 points for the cup winner, and then they cascade down towards the bowl winners, and then 12th place. Points so important, of course, in the run towards Rio. Seedings are going to be important at the Olympics, and they are bearing down on us oh so quickly. The first week of August is when the men's and women's sides will go at it here in South America. First up, though, right now, here in Brazil, it's the bowl final, game 30, Japan v Russia, 9v2. It's a new look, rejigged Russian lineup, and they lead in this series against Japan 4-0. They're yet to suffer defeat against the Japanese, and here's how both sides line up. I'm Sean Maloney, joined in commentary by ex-New Zealand international Melody Robinson, and there's been some staff performance for both sides.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Japan when we saw them earlier in the semi-finals for this competition. They just love to throw it around. They offload. It's really fast, quick, entertaining sevens. Russia, well, they're really unpredictable. They've got quite a bit of speed out there, out wide in the number 12 jersey, so keep an eye on her. This is her debut tournament. She's really been outstanding too.
Yes, Elena Zdrodakova is the woman that Mel is referring to, and when she's been given some space to work in, she has hit the ignition and flown. So want to keep the peepers dialed in on, and Japan, they have entertained at every turn here in Brazil. Their ability to string passes together, you'd almost say second to none. They love to dodge contact as we get a nice close-up look there at the silverware that's on offer, the bowl. There's Russia's results. Thus far, struggled on day one, but some life breathed into their time here in Brazil with that last start win. So too Japan, who rocked Spain. They had a great hit out earlier this morning. The Japanese, Beatrice Benvenuti, the boss for this one, the bowl final in Brazil. And we are underway. Japan v Russia. Crashing it forward there is Kukina. Nice leg driving contact too. Peels off some valuable meters and helps her team jump onto the front foot, and now ghosting around the defense and setting off towards the line is Kazakova. Kazakova doing what Kazakova does so well.
Yeah, that's just basic speed there for Katerina Kazakova. She's an awesome athlete, let me tell you, and you could just see that defence system there from the Japanese player. She'd come up too quickly, and it meant that Kazakova just went right on the outside of her. Just needed to relax on defence, Japan. Don't overrun it, but fantastic work for Russia.
So Kazakova gets the opening points in the bowl final against Japan. And it's welcome to all those broadcasters around the world taking in our now live pickies across the globe. Women's rugby, in particular sevens, going absolute gangbusters in this, the Olympic year, and this is the perfect way for these sides to show what they've got, to get everyone excited about Rio. We've enjoyed it all weekend, and now Japan taking it on via Maki Takano. Across the park they go. Here's their little live wire. Yamaguchi. Kaido on the outside, can't connect with her, and Russia pounce. Russia's opportunity now via Feflova. The pass is just missing the mark there, but That's what Japan do well, isn't it, Mel? They bring in the likes of Yamaguchi and they start to ask questions.
Yeah, well, even though Yamaguchi ran across the field, what had happened was that Russian defence was actually very close in, and Shimshak had to race right across the field to try and make up the numbers on D. So in the end, a pretty good option and probably a good game plan for Japan to stick to would be to use the space.
Nice wrap around, and the pass is delivered well. Russia fending. Here she goes again. Kazakova. Can it become 10-0 in favour of Katerina Kazakova over Japan? You betcha! And Kazakova takes it the length.
Yeah, they've got no answer to this 25-year-old, do they? She's the most experienced in this new-look Russian side for the Sao Paulo Brazil Sevens. Super fit, super fast. She has everything. And look at that powerful fend-off she has too. Japanese defender just far too high. Needed to go low on the legs to take down Kazakova. Try number 2 for her. She's hurting. Look at that.
Big output from Katerina Kazakova. She's right to be sucking the big ones. The kick is on its way. Oh, if you don't mind, right through the uprights. That's a sweet hit from out wide, and Russia now lead 12-0. Kazakova getting a well-deserved break after scoring those 2 tries to get her team ahead early against this unpredictable Japanese team. Kaido, one of their best. Footwork from Takano, and the tackle was high. Penalty advantage here for Japan. Here comes Tomita. Tomita does nicely to keep the ball in her possession before being knocked in at a touch.
I love it how the Japanese always take the ball right up to the line, don't they? They've got great go forward and everybody's on the same page. So always there's a support player, at least one, most of the time two. So if someone makes a half break, he's got a teammate on his shoulder.
Russia once more ghosting around the defence. They've managed to find a couple of holes, and when they've got their noses through the line, they have made the Japanese pay, and this time around it's going to be Maria Shimchuk tapping it down, and it is Russia running right.
Look, we know that the Russian team, they've got plenty of speed out there, but also what this game is showing, that it's repetitive speed. They are super fit. They get trained very hard by their coach, Pavel Baranovsky, and it's showing in this game because it's the end of the tournament, this bowl final, and they're still able to put top speed out there, whereas the Japanese girls just a little bit less experienced at playing back-to-back sevens tournaments and obviously a little fatigued.
The coach Pavel Baranovsky, he's building some nice depth too in this Russian team as they lead by 17.
Yeah, well, they haven't qualified for the Olympics yet. That's up in June in Dublin. Be a big one for them.
Japan, on the other hand, they are good to go here in Brazil later this year as Koida goes across the park to Tomita. That's a terrific heads-up play, and powering away is this promising youngster. Debut tournament, Elena Zrodakova, and Russia are in cruise control against Japan.
Here's Zrodakova, 19 years old. She's been identified as a star of the future. Well, you've got to argue that right now she's a bit of a star too. And her face is so relaxed. She did it with ease. A natural runner, isn't she, with that tall physique?
Conversion attempt is right over the black dot, and at half-time, Japan find themselves trailing by 24 points.
Running, yeah? Lots of running.
Если вы падает перед вами, вы явно успеваете нырнуть, то ныряйте. А если вы не успеваете, она бежит, уже явно там захват какой-то опаснейший. Или происходит, я не знаю, там уже явно на спине второй кровь. Дерните ее и отойдите в сторону. Они будут все время заваливаться. Лучше потом грузите 9 номера. Все понятно? 9 медленно. Грузите сразу 9 и 10, станьте плотнее. 2 маркера. 9 и рядом игрок 10. Только не промахивайтесь. Вперед.
Well, if that's the reaction from coach Pavel Baranovsky when you're up by 24, I would hate to see when you're down by the same margin.
Oh, I've seen it. Nearly has a heart attack. Colliption, it's great. It is entertaining. What do you think he was talking about when he did that kind of dance step? Hit onto the ball, maybe, don't stop and start? I don't know.
Don't know. Don't know. Perhaps he'll be dancing around like that later tonight. The Samba fever creeps across the Arena Bareri.
What's the Russian dance called?
Don't know. I'm in a Latin kind of a mood because we're in Brazil and those beautiful drums have been banging out all day. Second half underway in the bowl final. Russia and Japan going at it. Japan needing the likes of Koide and Yamaguchi to get their hands on the ball, and Yamanaka also, if they do work their way back into this one against the Russians, who finished second in Dubai back in December, going down to the champions Australia. Koide goes across the park and skipping at the line, and now getting around it is Buddy Vakalolo. Another on debut here in Sao Paulo. This better from Japan. The pass is sticking, and now some territory to go with the possession. Terrific offload back inside. Japan chasing the first points of the second half, and they're going to get them. Japan take it 80 metres, and planting it is Takeuchi. That is Subrashi from Japan.
Oh, look, I love it when they get into that kind of mood, Japan. They're just so fluid with the ball. Nice handoff there. Support player on the inside, as always. That's Suet with probably the slowest step I've seen all tournament, but it was effective anyway. Takeuchi at the end. Their skills, you know, their accuracy is really, really right up there.
I think they've put their hands up as one of the most enjoyable teams to watch here in Brazil. Japan, they're down by 17, but there have been moments like those that have had us all in the commentary box and around the ground, and hopefully around the world via the World Rugby stream, saying this is a ton of fun from Japan. Nothing particularly conventional about some of the stuff that they do on the field, but the passing is pinpoint when it's on song. And now some good work. The defensive breakdown as well. Tapping and going is Kuai. Japan looking for back-to-back points. The debutant offloads. The debutant is Buddy Vakalolo. And again, out to Koide. Fleet-footed Koide.
Stay. Advantage offside. Offside.
Just a little bit bunched there, I'd say, the Japanese attack. Koide in particular. Just need to spread out a little.
Suet. Nice switch, and that opens up the gap for Suet. Japan are making a game of this one in the bowl final.
Sue, really simple, wrapped around. It meant that the Japanese had numbers on that short side. Here she is, she made the initial pass, wraps around on the outside, good ball to her. Yeah, great passing once again.
Mel, you talk about how Russia are finishing their tournament here with plenty in the tank. It looks like Japan have got a little bit left in reserve as well. They're only down by 12 now.
Always seems easier to attack, eh? Defence is the hard part of the game. I think that's Kazakova who's limping off. Yeah, it is. She is a big loss. Don't forget that this has 7 changes from the Dubai team, this Russian outfit here.
Bunkarova to the restart. Japan pinned the Russians here and hit once more. 3 minutes to run. Good front-on shot too. The try scorer, Sue, got all of the runner. Tossed it back into the Brazilian turf. And now the fend comes, and following the fend, the pace gets just squeezed on enough for Arina Bystrova to go away and help set up a match-winning lead.
Yeah, well, forget Kazakova because Bystrova's out there. And that was just standing up the Japanese defence and then speeding off on the outside. All under one arm here, looking around to see if the chase is on. No one's there. Still keeps the foot on the pedal though, all the way, right till under the posts. Would have loved to have seen Bystrova's twin sister Daria Botkova debut in this tournament too. She's a pole vaulter. Twin sisters injured, but at least Bystrova is keeping the family name out there and playing very well indeed.
31-12, Russia are up over Japan. Yamaguchi was the one taking it down the near touchline, and offsides of course, so Japan will retain possession.
I think she would have got a mouthful of grass here. Look at that.
Didn't fall too well. Obviously does a lot of yoga, very flexible. Yamaguchi got up as if she hadn't been tackled. Okay, so Japan will reload, coming back the way they got it rolling, but the pass is just behind the runner and Takano can't bring it in.
Yeah, I don't think Takano expected to get that ball back. She was hard out on the support line.
Crouch. Point. Set. Put in.
Of course, referee wearing skins there with the threat of Zika. World Rugby's allowed any of the players or referees to cover their legs if they choose to do so.
A lot of consultation between World Rugby and the World Health Organization to ensure the safety of all the women and men taking part here in Sao Paulo, and seems to be very well managed. Steering back into the traffic, Bunkarova. Will this be Russia's last possession of the ball in Brazil before the final booter is sounded? No doubt Russia would dearly love to be back here in August at the Rio Olympics. Japan, well, they will be here. And if Russia make it all the way to Rio, perhaps we'll see a little more of this. Powering away again, Bistrova. She's loving Brazil. She'd love to be back in August, but right now it's time to celebrate as winners of the bowl.
Yeah, they never let up, do they? These Russian players. Nice inside ball there to Bistrova. Fit, fast, a good finisher. They've prepped well for the next couple of tournaments, bringing in the depth and the new players, and to go home with the bowl. Well, they won't be happy with, you know, not being in Cup quarterfinals and beyond, but at least they've taken home some silverware.
Indeed they will. Full time in the bowl final, and it is Russia 38, Japan 12. Well, Pavel Varanovsky is in a building process now, isn't he, Mel? Trying to shape his squad for Rio, and he's given his team, his squad here, a wonderful opportunity just to show what they've got to offer.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with him actually at the beginning of this tournament, and he talked about how difficult it is for them in Russia because their winter goes from October to April, and that's with the snow. So very difficult to find outdoor fields for them to train on. And there's Japan. Well done, saying thanks very much to all of the fans, friends and family who have been there supporting them.
Yeah, they've been one of the really well supported teams here in Brazil, Japan, and they have given the fans plenty to cheer as well with their entertaining style of sevens rugby. So they're going to be back in August, and Russia, well, they need to qualify, and they'll do so. Well, they get a chance to do so rather in June in Dublin.
Yeah, but they've got to get past teams like Ireland and also Spain. Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for them. But the players that aren't here in Brazil, I tell you what, they are so super dangerous. I mean, they beat New Zealand in round robin play in Dubai. Just outstanding. The way they've developed this program in Russia has been unreal.
Holding it aloft is Kazakova. Russia, bowl winners here in Brazil.
E na sequência, o super desafio Rugby Sevens, a decisão do 7º e 8º lugar entre Inglaterra e Brasil. Seleção brasileira em campo logo mais. Em instantes.
Okay, so before we get into England and Brazil in our next game, let's learn a little bit more about one of the English stars, Amy Wilson-Hardy.
23-year-old Amy Wilson-Hardy, the engineering student, and yet still go out and knuckle down on the rugby pitch.
I'm Amy Wilson-Hardy. I play for the England Women's Sevens team and we're based in Guildford. I went to a really small school when I was younger, so any sport that was available I'd get straight in there and kind of play as much as possible. And it was in junior school when I was 11, I think, and had a really enthusiastic teacher who was promoting the tag rugby side, and of course being as competitive as I am, I was like, I've got to get involved in this, show the boys how it's done, like thinking I was all that. That's where my love for rugby sparked. My first game was for Worthing Under-14s at prop, but I kind of made the transition to the good side and started playing centre when I was about 14, and then from there that's where kind of it all kicked off really. When I went to university in 2010, the premiership closest to Bath University was Bristol, and yeah, just playing with the calibre of players there, it was incredible and just amazing learning experience. Obviously I enjoyed it before, but playing with like-minded people was kind of really gave me the opportunity to start excelling in something I really loved doing.
Wilson-Hardy, Dynabomb, boom, boom, boom.
Try time here for
Hardy.
I first started getting involved with England Sevens in the World Cup year in 2013. I remember they trained at Hartpury College at the time, and I remember going along to the sessions. It was just something else. It's something I'd never experienced before. They were semi-professional and they were doing like crazy amounts of fitness, and I was like, oh, what am I getting myself into? But yeah, I was never expecting to have a first cap in sevens. I've always thought I was more of a 15s player until then. Going on to the pitch for the first time, I was so petrified, if I'm honest, because you worry like what's going to happen, what's going to go wrong. But then as soon as that whistle blows, you're just like, that adrenaline rush just hits you and you're just into the game and you don't have time to be nervous. I remember just thinking, okay, first touch, you haven't dropped it, it's fine, just, okay, next job, just go on to it. And then kind of took each game one at a time. Obviously I didn't get as much game time being a little one and a new cap, but just loved every second I was on the pitch. The past 2 years have been a huge learning curve. Obviously, like, the more you play, the more confident you get, and the more comfortable you are within your role of what you should do within the team. It makes you a better player, and I'm so lucky to play with some amazing players alongside who are so willing to help out as often as they can. I'm so fortunate to be involved in the 20 players that have been contracted. It's so cliched, but we never thought we'd have rugby as a career, so it's just incredible. And to be with the players day in, day out, and you just start to learn how each other play so much better, to play continuously, get kind of relationships with players so you know exactly what they're going to do and read each other's game. And I'm so fortunate that Mids has trusted me to be part of his 20-player squad, and I just hope that I can show that I'm worth the selection. So I'm studying at the University of Bath, and I've actually just handed in my dissertation, which is really exciting. I've been there for 5 years, and as of September I've been studying part-time, and they've been incredibly supportive, both sides, with the RFU and the university letting me do both. At the time we got offered contracts, so I was 4 years into a 5-year degree, and I didn't really want to throw that away. And also, as much as we love to play till we're 80, obviously rugby is an age-restricting game, so for me it was important to get something alongside and keep me occupied in those. I don't like sitting around, so keeping me busy.
The breakout try is good from Amy Wilson-Hardy.
Amy Wilson-Hardy, round under the posts.
Wilson-Hardy gets rid of the defender. Perfect start for England.
To play sevens in the Olympics is just incomprehensible. Like, it's something you grow up thinking. You watch it on TV and you look at the opening ceremony and see all the athletes like brimming with pride walking around. And to have a taste of that would be absolutely phenomenal. I haven't really thought too far ahead in the future. At the end of the day, our aim at the moment is to qualify for the Olympics, and we've got to do that job first. And if we get there, then of course everyone, you can't help but be excited about the thought of potentially going to this one. But hopefully I'll still be in a position within the squad to be involved in anything that comes up in the future.
Yeah, interesting stuff there from Amy Wilson-Hardy, one of the stars of the England team. But England preparing to take on Brazil in just a couple of minutes. This is what's on offer for the Cup winner. 20 points, and Australia going for 2 out of 2. Winners in Dubai, Canada in their way, and trying to stop them achieving just that. Ireland, well, we know they're confirmed as 12th place, 11th. And the bowl winners you've just seen, Russia. But this is the next game. It's England against Brazil. Last outing for the home side, and the crowd has stayed to cheer them on here in Sao Paulo as we head towards evening. And Brazil looking for their first ever victory against England in this series. 24-12, they last met yesterday right here in this tournament. And Brazil with a couple of tries, which I'm sure they'll look to exploit again here this evening. Changes to both teams. Brazil, the interesting absentee is Ishibashi, who suffered an injury in that last match against France, so she will not take part. Just 4 on the bench for Brazil, and that means that Edna Santini is promoted to the starting 7, where she is featured for most of this tournament. England, well, Packer, Fleetwood, Wilson-Hardy you've just seen, Brennan, Richardson, McKenna and McLean is Simon Middleton starting 7. Sute, former England international, is beside me, and Amy Wilson-Hardy, always fascinating to get the inside track and to the players, and I suppose how much they enjoy this pursuit and what they get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, she talked about the fact that she realises how fortunate she is and how fortunate so many of the players here are that they get to do rugby as a career. They get to do it part-time or full-time. You know, when I was playing, when the players that I played alongside and against were playing, we'd have given our right arms, although we wouldn't have been very good rugby players then, to be able to do that, to dedicate yourself to the sport.
So Brazil up against England, and the crowd really making their voices heard on the far side of the stadium. Referee is Gabriel Lee from Hong Kong. So Ishibashi out, as I said. Mulbauer will act as captain for the match, and beautiful conditions in a beautiful evening in Sao Paulo here for this game. I suppose for Brazil's mindset too, they got to banish the memory of yesterday in this game. It's a new match, you know, it's a new day, and they got to take this game to England.
Well, and they came good at the end of that game. England were 4 tries up. Brazil scored the last 2. There is bags of experience on the pitch, though, for England. Simon Middleton picked a few of the new players earlier in the day, but not here.
Strange decision, really, I suppose, if you think about it, you know, to give the new caps a chance in what was the biggest game, the Cup, and then now, really, when this is just playing for points. England, and a brilliant start this is too. Look at the pace of Brennan, Natasha Brennan. Does she need support? No! Twisting on the inside, faking the step in, and on the outside she goes, darts down, and Natasha Brennan for England.
Brilliant start from England. Natasha Brennan, and we've hardly seen her with the ball in any space. The try she's made, she's had to make for herself, but this time England pick her to start on the wing. They get good balls straight out, with the in and out there that holds up Edna Santini, and the pace to outpace Kakan, who's trying to catch. A lovely finish from Natasha Brennan, showing the value to England of having that absolute out-and-out gas on the wing.
Well, we won't mention the conversion from Sarah McKenna, but England 5 points to lead. The perfect start against Brazil. This, of course, for 7th place in the overall standings.
Yeah, a lot riding on this game. Might be 7th, 8th playoff though. Brazil playing at home, England playing after being really unhappy with their performances so far today. So both will be desperate to put in a good performance.
Ball at the back for Brazil. First touch for Araujo. Trying to ship this one on. A dangerous pass to make inside the 22 with England breathing down. And can Brazil straighten here? Campos struggling to hit the deck here. England the choke tackle, trying to hold her up and force the scrum. Campos did well with a bit of help from her Brazilian teammates, but it's carried in. They haven't used it. England get the scrum.
A couple of big driving mauls we've seen in the sevens today, isn't it? Quite unusual. Ball gets trapped in there though, and they can't get it out. A bit of bulk in both front rows actually. England with a couple of 15s forward, Fleetwood and Packer in their scrummage.
Katie McLean to feed.
Yeah, Katie McLean showing her versatility normally a fly half. She's played a bit of hooker in this tournament as well, but scrum half here. Of course, the 15s World Cup winning captain and fly half.
Ball squirts out the back, and Richardson the intended target. It doesn't go her way, and the kick chase. Oh, just couldn't keep her feet. Edna Santini makes the tackle, goes in chest height on Packer. You don't do that. Around the ankles, the best way to stop her. Again, scrapping on the ground. Brazil and Estevez trying to make the presence felt. Richardson with a little show and go. Over the 10, towards the 22. One-on-one, Richardson tries the handoff. Tackle goes in from Araujo. Had to be made, but Richardson, the strength to stay on her feet as long as possible. Allows the support to get there. McLean with a pass to Packer. Well, she thought about passing, which was the right option. Will they get away with it? The one-armed dink out the side. Here is Wilson-Hardy trying to go to the outside. Amy Wilson-Hardy for England. They're going to have their second try, and she touches down well. I wonder was a wrong decision made there for a minute or two, but they got away with it.
They got away with it. Molly Packer just needed to pass that first time. She's been playing a lot of 15. She played in the Autumn Internationals at 15s, and her instinct is always to take the ball in. It needed to go first time that time. Molly Packer, the more 7 she plays, the more she'll instinctively fling the ball out when it's the right thing to do. Amy Wilson-Hardy, though, didn't need the extra space that would have given her. She is a very, very good finisher on the outside.
Conversion of the post and over, 12 points to 5. Amy Wilson-Hardy stretches England's lead against Brazil. Well, you wonder what if Santini had held her balance after kicking that ball through. She might as well. Wasn't to be though, and Campos takes the return on the switch. Brazil keep it alive. Here is Santini, and a gap opens up in the middle. She doesn't need a second invitation. Stretches the legs. They're not going to catch her. McLean gives chase, but it's all in vain. And it's going to be a try for Brazil. And Araujo, a brilliant finish by the little Brazilian.
Yeah, Araujo just saw the gap open up in front of her. You could see the England's defensive pattern as Richardson wasn't quite sure whether the player inside her had the tackle or not. Araujo saw the chance. Bang, went straight through the hole, and she has got a bit of pace.
Amanda Araujo spotting the gap. Off she goes. Conversion from Kokan. 12 points to 7. The gap closed to just 5, and that's the perfect response from Brazil. Very like Santini and Araujo in terms of build, but maybe a bit of height advantage on the try score, if we're being honest.
Kokan just about to take the kick-off for Brazil. She's been a standout player for them this tournament, a real coming-of-age tournament for her.
High restart gives supporters Estevez a chance to make the tackle, forcing them to play it from their 22. Little wraparound, nice switch from McKenna. And here's Richardson. Great tackle goes in that time from from Barent. And Wilson-Hardy out to McLean. Packer. Well, I tell you what, she's not known for her pace, but that's not a bad run. And the switch back inside. Marley Packer. How do you like that? Stretching the legs, and away she goes.
Yeah, real strength and power from Packer because there was another player on the outside. Defensively, Brazil were at 6s and 7s, not quite sure whether to stay with Packer, not quite sure whether to go to the outside, but I think Vicky Fleetwood was waiting. Yeah, there she is, who definitely does have some pace, the former hurdler. Marley Packer just powers through, steps off her left, front of Santini.
Here's the conversion attempt, no problems from there. 19 points to 7, England extend their lead once again. 20 seconds now to play at the end of the first half. What have Brazil got in response? Decent take. The restart, Wilson-Hardy leaves it. Kokan with the pass to Santini. Tackle goes in from Fleetwood. Brazil, did that go backwards? It did. Play on. Campos, 2 outsider. Berent hits the ground. Still there for Campos. Try score Araujo. No room that time though. And a little wrap around is from Sarda. She's put down, still inside the Brazilian 22, Campos. Opting to switch it right, and the crowd want to see a flourish. The pass was poor from Kokan. Well, it's been a very entertaining first half, plenty of tries as well, the majority of them going to England, but Brazil certainly not dead and buried here. The fans, something to stick around for in the second half. 19-7, England leads.
Decisão 7 de oitavo lugar. Na sequência, a final de prata. Final da Taça Prata
No changes. We'll give a couple of minutes and then we'll get some on. Look, simple game, anything you play it like that. Shifted the ball at pace, away from the contact, into space, okay, and just really put some pace in the game. All right, you know, these aren't slouches, but we've shown we can match them better when we get the ball on the front foot, okay, into space. So good work on that. In terms of our defence. Squeeze our space in the middle. Don't get too wide around the centre, around the ruck area, okay? Because that'll be their number one rule. They'll see that and they'll take it. Okay, make them play to the edges. Side backs chase them down if needs be. Okay, just a little bit tighter in the middle of the field and our rucks. Keep our line speed on. Okay, keep recycling the ball quickly. 2 passes into space, and away we go.
Keep that energy high, yeah?
Yeah, keep the energy right up there.
Empty the tank, ladies, empty the tank.
Vamos para o segundo tempo. Decisão do sétimo lugar do Super Desafio do Rugby Sevens. Placar parcial de Inglaterra 19, Brasil 7.
So second half all set to go, and England leading by 19 points to 7. No substitutions from Simon Middleton. Says he will make some though after a minute or two. Decent take, wasn't that under pressure from Morocco? It'll show. Brazil up towards the halfway line through Estevez. Slow ball coming back though. Not releasing on the ground. England get the penalty. Packer wastes no time in getting on with it. Out as far as Richardson. Wilson Hardy, the pass to the first try scorer of the game, Natasha Brennan. Can't get away that time though. They don't release on the ground. Penalty to Brazil.
Now, the referee didn't like the roll of Natasha Brennan there. Normally players try and buy themselves a bit of time with the extra roll. The ref wasn't having any of it, so penalty to Brazil. On comes Joanne Watmore in this corner, not sure who's gone off. Vicky Fleetwood, I think it is, down there, that's crept off the pitch, which means that Jo Watmore's come on probably in the fast prop role, if you like. The speedster on the other side of the pitch from Tash Brennan.
So Watmore, let's see what she can do. Brazil find a decent touch at a line out just outside the England 22. Try here and put them right back into this game. Plenty of time left on the clock. And it'll be Edna Santini to try and hit her player. They go to the front. Well, looked like there was a bit of contact in the air there for me. The referee's hand is out playing advantage for something. We presume it's that. Oh, was that a kick? No, go back for the penalty. Can't touch the player in the air. It's an immediate penalty against. Santini drifting across as far as Estevez. Watmore to make the tackle, back to Santini. Santini trying to go the outside of Wilson Hardy. No room there. Back towards Sarda. And they're going to go wide here. Berent. Oh, that was a fumble, really, is the best way. You can see what she was trying to do, the quick pass on the outside, but just didn't pull it off.
Yeah, Sarah McKenna and Natasha Brennan decided to gamble, pushed up to force her to make the pass as quickly as possible. Campos.
And number 1.
All the changes going on out there for both teams.
Yeah, so plenty of new legs in to try and breathe some life in, certainly for Brazil. 5 minutes to play, 2 tries down. There's the feed. Chipped on from McKenna, trying to find space on that outside. Tackle from Morocco. Still there for England though, and Natasha Hunt with the pass. Watmore Watmore trying to stretch the legs and the handoff. We've seen it effective in this tournament. The pass from Packer was brilliant, and Wilson Hardy looking for her second try. Then they catch her. No, they cannot. Brilliant stuff, lovely hands. Packer involved, Wilson Hardy with the finish, and England get their fourth.
Yeah, lovely interplay from England. 25 tries already for Amy Wilson Hardy. She's not been around that long, but it was the offload from Watmore to Packer, Packer to Amy Wilson Hardy, the forward pack combining, and Amy Wilson Hardy has the gas to finish it off. England will be pleased with that one.
24 points to 7, conversion to come. And it's going to be Sarah McKenna, started it right, didn't bring it back in enough, so 24-7 we stay, and Brazil now really need a miracle to come back into this one. I mean, your assessment of England overall, Sue, in the tournament, will they be slightly disappointed by how they performed today?
They'll be more than slightly disappointed. They lost a couple of tight games, really, the France game and the USA game. Just crucial moments in the game. They didn't make the right decisions or made errors. But it's small margins in sevens. That's the thing. We saw that in the New Zealand-Canada game as well. Small margins make a big difference, and it didn't go England's way today. It's not quite precise enough.
Well, they'll have some time to rectify things ahead of the doubleheader in Atlanta and Langford as Brazil try to come out of their 22. Bahrain with the pass on the outside now. Silva, little step from her. She's tackled, as is Skatroots, the other substitution. An advantage being played to Brazil. Again, the pass not particularly good. Santini lets it bounce up. A kind bounce as well for the Brazilian number 4. Nice little loop. And the pass on the outside. Now, how much pace? Watmore trying to give chase here. Tackle into touch is Mulbauer.
Yeah, Jo Watmore to me looks really assured in this fast prop role. I'm a big fan of her there. She's really abrasive at the breakdown as well, but also brings that extra bit of pace on the outside and the forwards.
Referee just making sure the gap was there. Watmore uses her size, but the throw wasn't straight. Brazil get a scrum.
Small margins, we said. A chance for Brazil to get their hands on the ball. They've not had a huge amount of possession.
Well, Heather Fisher's had a brilliant tournament so far, and she is certainly not going to weaken this England team. Also in is Abigail Brown, her first series, and I'm sure a learning curve for her as well.
Yeah, you learn a huge amount playing in these tournaments that you couldn't learn anywhere else. It's not the same on the training part, but you're right, worth a word about Heather Fisher. She has had an outstanding tournament, taking the ball on at pace, huge presence in the breakdown, and a finishing ability. She's one of England's top try scorers this tournament.
Well, first scrum didn't go to plan. We'll have to reset, and Amy Wilson Hardy just sorting out the hair. Back to Brent. Penalty against England and Sarah McKenna for being offside. Quick tap and go from Santini. Runners on the right, the pass, and it's tired hands and legs out there. That's why the mistakes are happening. Tries to get the hand off well. You can't tackle with the hair, and we might see a card here.
Heather Fisher already knew, didn't she? Realised what she got hold of, said sorry, but it's too late at that point.
Santini, can Brazil make the extra player count? Well, almost a drop pass there. It looked like Mulbauer was expecting that one. Back to Santini, 2 players outside her, kicks it over the top. Anybody at home for England? There is. And Claire Allen has to just dive in that ball, gets back on her feet quickly, and look at the strength in the legs there as we approach 30 seconds left to play in this one. And is there time for one more try? There might be, you know. Brown to the outside, Wilson Hardy on a hat-trick. Held up in the tackle there, good strength for the Brazilian defence. You can see she's trying desperately to hit the ground. Brazil gets stuck in and win the scrum.
Yeah, just a little bit too high. Emma Wilson Hardy cut back in. There were 2 defenders there, so she couldn't get it to ground. Not a bad option though from Santini to kick over. England to play it out, so they have to push everybody up in the front line, which means there's nobody back at home. Claire Allen though was equal to it for England. There's an awful lot of space to defend though, isn't there, when you're down to 6 and you're out in the backs defending.
Can Brazil get this one wide? Well, a bit of foot skills from Santini. The long pass from Berent. If it goes to Silva, she might back herself here. The pass should go. Silva pins the ears back and trying to go on the outside. Great cover tackle from Claire Allen, and it had to be. England get the penalty as well.
Yeah, she's one of England's best tacklers, Claire Allen. Almost never misses a tackle.
McKenna switches the play. Natasha Hunt gone full time here. Watmore. Last go, and well, why not go for the hat-trick? Wilson Hurley tries to go the shortest route to the try line through the Brazilian defence. That one went forward. That should be at. Indeed it is. So England will finish in 7th place overall. Brazil have to settle for 8th. 24-7 the full-time score.
So just the 3 games to run here in Brazil. Next up, it is the plate final between Fiji and France. And overall, it is the French who lead the Fijians in the series. And this is how both sides line up. Both teams showing glimpses across the weekend. I'm Sean Maloney, joined in commentary by ex-England superstar Sue Day. And Sue, who are we keeping an eye on in this one?
Well, for Fiji, Tanai has been outstanding at times and less than outstanding at other times with her offloads. If she can sort that out, it was mostly on the first day, but today, outstanding. Rongitha, always at the heart of everything they do. For France, Shannon Izar had a really strong first day, and Jade Lepesque has really come to the fore.
She sure has. Lepesque has been a nightmare in and around the breakdown for opposing teams. Onto the field they come, the French and the Fijians, and the Fijians, well, they're wearing their black armbands, but we'll get to that in a second as we have a look at how they made their way through to the plate final. Strong winners over Brazil, and they ran into a red-hot Canadian team earlier today, and there are the Fijians stunning England, it must be said, in that match a little earlier today as well. Our referee for this one is Rose Labreche out of Canada. Yes, the Fijian women's side wearing their black armbands is a mark of respect and just sending their love all the way back to Fiji after the beautiful Pacific Island nation was ravaged by Cyclone Winston. Tragic loss of life there and several people still missing. So the Fijiana team looking to try and raise spirits back in their homeland as France kick off, and it's taken nicely. Good early run of passes, and just having a little look up at what was to come. There was Tamoy.
Yeah, it's that situation where you've forgotten to catch the ball before you look to about what you're going to do next. Handing the ball back to France.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
France feed, and now they clear to Lepesque. Against the traffic, that's a big set of sit down there from, I think it was Nangasau who made the shot, and they win the penalty as well.
Yeah, lovely hit, wasn't it? France just ran themselves into trouble a little bit. Went one way, came back the other, but weren't deep enough to support each other.
Here is Nangasao. Oh, she was looking for the runner off the hip and nobody was up to the player. They didn't get the memo. So France with a chance now to open up via Garin. That is great work from Lena Garin, and France have the opening try in the plate final.
Yeah, really good finish from Lena Garin. Possibly slightly fortunate. The pass looked like it drifted forward, but either way, you can't argue with the finishing power of Garin. There just evades the last tackle of Nangasao. But it was the offload, I think, from Nangasao that gave France the chance in the first place. Fiji, when they've been good this weekend, it's when they've offloaded with precision at the right time. When they've been poor, when they've let the opposition in, it's because they've been offloads that really weren't on, and it just gifts the ball straight back to the opposition.
Lopez knocks through the extras, and France are up 7-0. Biscarat with the restart. Goes a little deeper this time around, and it's caught Nangato out of position. She couldn't bring it in, and they're going to hop straight back on attack. France are.
Yeah, too many errors from Fiji at the moment, giving France opportunity after opportunity. Pauline Biscarat there, she's been such an important player for France in recent times. This tournament, coming back from injury, hasn't quite come into her own, but we just expect to see her get better and better as the series goes on.
Good pressure at the back, and the footwork comes. So too does the pace for Biscarat. The offload is fantastic. France are getting it done early and going in once more to wrap up a sweet try. Lena Garin.
Really well worked from France, wasn't it? It wasn't good ball from the back of the scrum, although when is it ever? Biscarat just manages to pop it up into the hands of Lepesque. Eventually it gets as far as Fanny Horta, the captain. A nice little bit of footwork then. The final pass to Garin. She's one of those players trying to force her way into the 12 for Rio, and she's doing a pretty good job of that right now.
Conversion attempt on its way, but it's away to the right. The boot is up, and that'll leave the score looking like that. 12 points in France's favour over Fiji.
And as Shannon Izar was taking the kick, Garin snuck off and Latanu came on. It's with rolling subs these days, you can afford to give a player who's done all that running a couple of minutes rest.
That's better from Nangato. She gets a grip on it that time round. Fiji, like their men's team, are happy to chance their arm from all over the park inside the 22. It does not matter, but they're going to need numbers there to retain possession, and they can't get them there. France steal, and now will look to strike. Good rush defence coming on Mayans, who is danger, danger, danger for opposing teams. Lepesque, that is terrific pass across to Horta. Picking up again, Lepesque.
High here.
Laranu. Izar pops the ball, but it's drifted forward, and Fiji get out of trouble on that occasion.
Can only have been an inch or two forward, can't it? France are doing really well at the breakdown. It's what really made the difference between France and England earlier on. They're just brilliant at the breakdown, getting in there quickly before the opposition can get that second player in and stealing the ball.
5 and 11 weight. 11 weight.
Just a couple of subs here. Late on day two, and the legs are feeling it. Searing heat on Saturday here in South America, in Brazil, Sao Paulo. Just down the road from Rio, which is set to light up in the first week of August this year. Sude bearing down on us so quickly.
so exciting. The first time Rugby Sevens has been in the Olympics, just a few months away now. What an amazing, amazing chance for these players.
Off Rongitha. And popping beautifully. Now Riwai gets a touch, but again, the passes aren't just getting where they need to go. And that was Ravisa, the little whippet, who scored a sensational try against England this afternoon, going without.
Yeah, Fiji just making it too hard for themselves at the moment. A couple of games earlier, the England game, they really switched it on. Passes were going to hand, the offloads going to hand. At the moment, that precision just isn't there, not even close.
So this our plate final, followed by the third, fourth playoff between the United States and New Zealand. And then the big one, Australia taking on Canada. At 6:41 local time, that's going to be a screamer between those two teams. France come across to Laranu. Penalty advantage coming. Laranu will take it into contact and then pinch a couple of extra metres with some good leg drive. Penalty advantage being offered up here to France. What can they do just before half time? Laranu, long ball across to Lepesque. It's a good bounce. It hops back to her and she darts to the outside and touches down. Great reward for this talented French woman.
Yeah, the bouncing pass was all it needed. It was Jade Lepesque one-on-one with Lavinia Tinai. Tinai had no chance. Ladoni did well to get the pass out. The ball just had to get there somehow because Lepesque was in so much space and she has such a good step on it. Tinai had no chance at all. France really stringing some good sevens together. Fiji, unfortunately, right now making it really hard for themselves with all their errors.
Kick slips to the right of the uprights, and at half-time in the plate final, it is France ahead of Fiji. It's 17-0. If you want to follow some of the action from the weekend, jump onto social media and whip in that hashtag, Sao Paulo Sevens, and you will be treated to some wonderful highlights. Plenty more to come in this one. Let's dial it into the French huddle.
Voilà, donc vraiment, ça c'est la base. Vous avez vu, on s'est jeté une seule fois sur le d'envoi, on s'est foutu dans la merde. Ne vous jetez pas et on ne plaque pas Caro, d'accord? On ne plaque pas. Tant qu'elles n'ont pas essayé de franchir, tant qu'elles n'ont pas essayé de chercher un intervalle, on ne plaque pas. On reste debout, on tient debout.
Juste attention, parce que la 5, quand elle fait la passe à la 6, elle épaule vachement bien. Donc pour ça couvre vraiment intérieur au cas où.
Les bras cassés, vous les posez, je vais vite sur l'extérieur. La seule fois où on s'est compris, les chalons, 1, 2 appuis, on s'est fait chier. Donc elles sont bonnes sur l'extérieur. Après, dernière chose, Vanny, quand on a des coups comme ça, vous n'êtes pas sûr de franchir, on joue à chat. On ressort. Vous écoutez bien, sur le chat, par rapport à la porteuse du ballon, c'est 10 mètres de profondeur minimum. 10 mètres de profondeur minimum au sprint s'il le faut. Ok? Allez, il faut gagner.
So you speak fluent French. Come on, give us the goss.
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm gonna use the excuse. It was just a bit too quiet, that food. Couldn't quite hear what he was saying.
Okay. You know what's cracking. Yeah, so as mentioned, jump on social media and pop that hashtag in, Sao Paulo Sevens, Instagram and Twitter, and you are going to see some awesome action that's been served up out of Brazil with just the few games to come. Laranu driven back into a 22. Izar ghosting across the park. She needs someone to straighten up the attack for her, and throws a tough one for Troncy to bring in.
Izar had a really strong first day. It's not quite happened for her today. She looks disappointed with herself there. The pass should have been caught, but it wasn't a great pass. It did hold up Jennifer Troncy. But when she gets it right, Izar, she's such a strong runner.
Strong defender too. Played a bit of tap around the park yesterday. A couple of attackers coming off second best, thanks next to the shoulders of Shannon Izar. Okay, Fiji. Rongitha. And now it goes to Ravisa. Ravisa is going to steer backwards and look to get inside the defence of Ladanu. She does nicely in bringing her down. 40 out. Good little sharp reload from Riwai, but it's just not happening at the moment.
Ball down, please.
For Fiji.
White, just take a step, please. Blue, take a step.
Got an assistant ref coming on to the park in a second. Have a chat to Rose Lebreche out of Canada.
What have you seen? Okay, do you have a number? Okay, so your recommendation? Against white. Against blue. Okay. Okay. Guys, we have obstruction here, okay? We're gonna have a penalty against blue. Okay. It's here. Mariana, here is good.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there, but clear instruction from the assistant referee. Penalty, Fiji.
They've got to start capitalising, and rumbling it forward there is Naingato. Nangasao, again the passes are missing the mark for Fiji. Mayans slips in and then scoots towards the sideline, eventually brought down by Ravisa. Porter.
Not happening for either team at the moment, is it? Error after error. France had a strong first half, but I guess 17-0 up, less than 5 minutes to go. Maybe the concentration slipped. Fiji certainly just haven't been on the mark all game. Been flashes of brilliance this tournament from Fiji, haven't there? But
yeah, in that last start against England, they were outstanding. Rongitha trying to do it all herself, but that was not the play. Nobody else knew quite what Rongitha had in mind. Izar rips the pass back. Doing well to bring it in was Horta. Ladanu. And now Horta again. Getting a number of quality touches. Ladanu. Izar. How can she shape the attack? She can't. And Fiji make the tackle and then pounce on it via Tinai. Tinai taps and goes. Tinai pops up. Well, here we go. That's a little bit more like Fiji. And popping it down is Naingato. And this one's still very much alive if the kick is good.
yeah, much more like it from Fiji. Because it was the penalty, Fiji turned over at the breakdown. The French defence was all over the place. All Fiji needed to do was move it out into the open space at the hands of Naingato. Then a quick tap. Then Ladanu has to commit. Lepesk has to commit, and there's nobody left to defend Naingato. Doesn't need asking twice. In under the posts. There's time, Sean.
There's plenty of time. If there's any team in the world of sevens that can rip back points off the deficit quickly, it's Fiji. 3 minutes is an eternity. Lepesk, Ladanu, Horta. Bounce pass across to Mayans. That's great. Back and forth from the French. The passes swift and on the money. And here's Marjorie Mayans getting inside Nangasao. Naingato came back and made the shot, and Fiji make the turnover, win the penalty, and we're going to go back. I'll need to go back quickly, Fiji.
Now Fiji wanted to get the ball moving quickly then, didn't they? Fiji doing a really good job of disrupting France's attack. France make half breaks, but Fiji getting in the way of the pass.
That looked to be a touch forward, and that is the call out of the hands of Tinai. Ravisa was gone, but the pass crept forward through the air and out of the hands.
Time off. White number 12. Oh, she's coming.
So just another reminder that following this, it'll be the United States and New Zealand going head-to-head in the third, fourth playoff, and then a little later this evening or this morning, depending on where you're watching on via your broadcaster around the world, Sky UK or Fox Sports in Australia, Sky Sports NZ, it'll be Australia and Canada in the big one. France looking to finish this one in style. Laranu is cannoned into touch.
He's crying out for a switch in play there. Fanny Horta running across the pitch, Ladanu outside of the two defenders running with them, but no third defender on the inside shoulder of Fanny Horta. Ladanu, had she cut back inside, there was a sea of wide open space. As it was, Ladanu just gets bundled into touch. As a winger, you've got to play with your head up, see where those defenders are, and if there's no third defender there, you've got to come back inside.
And that may be the final roll for Fiji. France will pack this one down and feed it.
Number 8, White 8.
And they are set to scoop the plate in Sao Paulo.
Numero R. And white number 9. Yep, number 9. Number 9. Okay, time in. Crouch. Bind. Sit. Out.
Popping out at the back is Biscarat. And Horta, the starter step. Great defence though in cover from Fiji. They let it through and then chopped it down and forced the error.
Yeah, Horta was just trying to get the pass away, wasn't she?
It's such a hallmark of the Fijian defence, isn't it? They just present that gap, and then when players think they're through, all of a sudden they've got two mitts around their waist and they have their face in the turf not long after that.
Set.
That's a lovely line from Tisolo. Fiji, can they give us something to put on the highlights reel to wrap up their time in Sao Paulo before they return for Rio in August?
Release, Blue. No.
Now the locals would love to see it. Across the park they go. Naingato. And Salto. Haven't seen a whole lot of Salto this weekend. And they concede the penalty. Full-time Hooters gone. France want something to remember as well. Maybe talk about later tonight or on the flight home. A special bit of play to end their time in South America. Horta is chopped down but pops beautifully. Some very, very tired legs out there as well. There might be 6 games down across the weekend, and in each of their final hit-outs here in Brazil, it is France proving too strong for Fiji. The red, white and blue are winners, 17 points to 5. So there's a plate all wrapped up, just the cup to come, Sude. And some encouraging signs there for the French coach, David Cortix, as he bloods or brings back in some old hands to give them a shot at establishing themselves as runners in Rio.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of this tournament of having the right amount of experience on the pitch so that they do well, but giving new players or players that haven't had a chance for a while a run out. People like Jade Lepesque never really gets much pitch time. Lina Guerin, Amélie Meunier, these players, haven't been given a chance before, and yet still coming out as plate winners.
I think Jade Lepesky is another that we'll see featuring throughout the remaining 3 legs of the HSBC World Rugby Women's 7 Series. She was just an animal at the breakdown, particularly yesterday, just forcing turnover after turnover, like one of the great open sides in World Rugby.
Yeah, and also standing in the first receiver's spot, really whizzes out an accurate, quick pass, which is exactly what you need there to give the players outside as much time as possible. So great breakdown skills and great distribution skills too.
And he's hoping that the women in shot there, the Fijian team, when they get home, they can get things back on track for the next leg of the series, which will be in Atlanta. There are your plate winners. France, always nice to take home a little collector's item anywhere you travel in the world, and they're going to be taking home that flash silver plate out of Sao Paulo. Plate winners, France at the Sao Paulo Sevens.
Congratulations. Próxima partida, decisão de terceiro e quarto. Nova Zelândia contra Estados Unidos. Mais uma vez, parabéns à França, campeã da Taça Prata. Merci, France.
Try with a little maestro from France.
Here comes Central Africa.
And he made it look easy.
Okay, so let's get the thoughts of Sarah Goss, New Zealand captain, ahead of the 3rd, 4th place playoff. Here's what she had to say.
Now here comes Goss. Goss, the big feed and a try! New Zealand have stolen it!
I'm Sarah Goss and I'm captain of the New Zealand Women's Sevens team, and this is my 7 in 60. Probably making this team for the first time and getting to wear the first black jersey. I suppose there's a few. I think Shani Williams and Jen Kish are probably the main two. Probably hot chips and fizzy. Hardworking, a farm girl, and just laid back. Beyonce, the Queen, and Oprah. Probably winning the World Series and also winning the World Cup. Last meal, probably fries. I love hot chips.
Okay, so a quick look at the top try scorers in Sao Paulo over the weekend, and Kayla McAllister is by far and away out in front with double digits and 10 so far. Really impressive performance for her. She will have a chance to add to that in the next few minutes. Elia Green on 5, along with Lena Guerin, Ghislaine Landry, Haryana Manuel, and Zedrakova from Russia as well. But a long way to catch Kayla McAllister. Also with 50 points and topping the charts with her 10 tries. Landry at 39 has had a few kicks, successful kicks at that. And Emily Cherry as well, the try scoring machine for Australia. Can she catch Kayla McAllister in the final? It's a big, big ask today.
It certainly is, but you never know. It's a 20-minute game after all.
Yeah, so the penultimate game in the 2016 Sao Paulo Sevens and the fourth place playoff between New Zealand and the United States of America. New Zealand, after a decent start last time, losing out to Canada in the semi-finals, while the United States were unable to cope with the power and the pace of Australia. Well, it's great to see Portia Woodman even back in the New Zealand starting 7 after that unfortunate injury yesterday in the very first game, 5 seconds into the first game to be precise. Top try scorer in women's sevens history, New Zealand number 11 with 100 not out. Well, the United States, win, lose or draw, this has been a massive improvement from Dubai, almost unrecognisable this weekend from December, and credit where it's due to Jules McCoy and a coaching team, because there were problems, there were issues, but it's understandable given that, I suppose, the change, Sue, since Rick Sugget left and Jules came in, that it's going to take time to iron out what exactly the coaching philosophy would be.
Yeah, and a couple of the big changes in this tournament for me. Kelly Griffin has had a lot more pitch time. She's influential. She does the simple things well. It doesn't stand out, but does the simple things well. And also Alev Kelter, the combination of her and Bara Vilala as playmakers have made a big difference.
There is Griffin for the United States, and as I mentioned, just outclassed by Australia, didn't even register a single try, and I'm sure looking to bounce back from that. But New Zealand equally disappointed with their semi-final defeat, and the experience in that team, well, it's going to give the United States plenty to think about, to say the least. Referee in charge, no shortage of experience here, from South Africa, Rasta Rasavengi. 53rd match in the sevens, and has had a very good tournament overall, you have to say. Under lights in Sao Paulo, and we are almost set to go. There she is, Portia Woodman, 100 tries, back in the team. Her thigh is heavily strapped up, but let's see what kind of an impact she will have in this game. You give her space, Sue, and she is out like a light. Yeah,
and you can see why Sean Oram wanted to play her with Kayla McAllister out. She's the other talisman or taliswoman. She's the one who scores tries out of nothing, and they'll be looking for a bit of inspiration from her.
Well, that was exactly how she picked up the injury in the first game, by running to take the kick off, and in fairness to Kelter, she kept her eye on the ball, but she has to release on the ground. She didn't, and Woodman's first act back in the starting 7 is to make the tackle and force the scrum. Kelter, another with a really good few performances over the course of the tournament. And we've mentioned this time and time again, Tyler Nathan Wong, the restarts, the precision, and how effective New Zealand are at using that.
Yeah, she's the best by a country mile in this series at the moment. They always land her kick when she intends it to, and more often than not the conversions go over wherever they're from.
Kelly Brazier trying to shrug off the attentions of the United States defence. Here is Nathan Wong. Little pop pass, and the pressure from USA. You can see the tactics already here. Try and close out the gap, but watch this. Watch her go. She will not be caught, surely. 11 on 11 is only going to be one winner. Thigh injury. What thigh injury? Portia Woodman, 101, touches down for New Zealand.
11 on 11. Lovely finish from Portia Woodman. It was the offload from Gail Broughton that made it, but Hunter Grendling, Rachel Grendling, number 11 for the United States. She was not far behind. We've not seen much of her. It'll be good to see more of her with ball in hand. Look, she's right there on Portia Woodman's shoulder. Great to see Portia Woodman back for New Zealand. They've missed her this tournament.
What about that? Portia Woodman opens the scoring for New Zealand. The conversion underneath the post. Nathan Wong does not miss those. So New Zealand off to a flyer in the fourth place playoff. United States have to regroup here.
Yeah, it's a big call from Jules McCoy, leaving Bara Vilala on the bench. The US, one of the two key playmakers. So it remains to be seen whether the USA can get the ball into the wide open spaces without her on the pitch.
Little shift in direction from Nathan Wong, and United States now to try and launch something from inside their 22. Touch for Greenling. Hunter, as she's called. Again, scrap for possession on the ground. And the tackler had to let go. Thomas gets the offload, but Greenling couldn't take it at first attempt, did on the second time. Now, is there space on this left-hand side? There is, you know, and it's going to be a foot race here. Bonnie, New Zealand cover, comes across. Bonnie with the shawl, the knock-on at a crucial stage. And Jessica Javelet thought she might be in for the second half, but defence did enough there.
Yeah, Bonnie would have been better off just going for it, go for the outside. If she got scragged, Javelet was on her shoulder for the offload, and there'd have been no defence at home then. As it was, she cut in straight back into where all the defence was. That was a really good opportunity for the USA, and against New Zealand you have to take the chances when they come along.
Nathan Wong to feed New Zealand scrum. As I said, no Kayla McAllister, so maybe she can be caught in the try table, depending on what Green does in the final, I suppose. And a lovely break, and the footwork from Broughton into the 22. Tackled eventually by Javelet, and support from Nathan Wong. Still there for New Zealand. Woodman's calling out for this one. Oh, the pass, not particularly good. She takes it at the second attempt, and look at that for footwork. Oh, it's going to be 102. Or is it? No, it went forward. Touch judges spotted it. Rewind, take it back, and we go for the scrum.
It was really good footwork from Portia Woodman. Unfortunately, all to no avail. Probably the first mistake I've seen from Kelly Brazier in this tournament. The ball went forward and then backwards, the touch judge says.
Great spot though, wasn't it? Just went forward off her hand, Portia Woodman. I've seen them not given. One of the New Zealand players struggling there is a Gail Broughton, who seems to be limping towards the halfway line, but she's going to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, they're running out of centres, New Zealand. Kayla McAllister already gone. Of course, they've got Katerina Fata-Simpkins, who can easily slot in there as well if need be.
Kelter digs it out for USA. Greenling fires one across to Thomas. Now, we know she's quick. Was that forward? It was, you know.
USA had done such a good job of playing that out if that pass hadn't been forward. Gail Broughton rushed up to put the pressure on. For some reason, Portia Woodman stayed back, leaving a huge gap on the outside, but fortunate for New Zealand. Forward pass call.
There is Jules McCoy, and as you mentioned, she did not enjoy Dubai, and you know, we don't need to go into the reasons why. Second from bottom says its own story, but they are building towards Rio, and this is an altogether different United States team from what we saw in the desert. They've got to defend here now. Lovely footwork again. Brazier, she's such a handful, so strong with possession. New Zealand still have it. Little cheeky break from Blythe, doesn't get very far. Kelter in over the top, ball squirts out, play on, Potter. Now, she's got it all to do here. Potter over the 22 and snapped down with the tackle. Oh, the pass again. USA's handling has gone to pot, you'd have to say.
Yeah, under lots of pressure at the breakdown, so rushing the passes, the USA.
Because the United States, you know, they have had little cracks in the defence. If that last pass goes to hand, Broughton is finished, so she's gone off. And Fata-Simpkins has come in, as you said, Sue, straight into the centre, and no problem to her. So Broughton, hopefully it's nothing too serious. She's going to have a month to get herself right ahead of Atlanta. Nathan Wong fires one. Oh, little grubber kick through. You can see what the idea is. Fata-Simpkins on the pitch, fresh legs. Can she get there? No is the answer. And Thomas has to do a rescue act for USA. Enough support was there. Can they counter? Potter hit hard in the tackle over the dead ball line. And we'll go back for the scrum 5 metres out.
Nothing Potter could do about that, was there? The defence up on her so quickly. The kick through from Brazier there, she's used it effectively in previous games. You might argue maybe one too many there. Just keep the ball in hand, put the defence under pressure. But goodness me, look at that rain starting to come down. That is not going to help the handling in this game, or indeed in the final.
No. We had rain at the end of day one. We've got rain at the end of day two. The fans retreating up to the upper tiers where there is a bit of shelter. It does rain in Brazil after all. Now, Fata-Simpkins to Woodman, one-on-one. This will be interesting. Oh, Thomas did well, but look at the wraparound. The wraparound from Fata-Simpkins just bungled into touch. The tackle had to be good from Jessica Javelet. And there is the half-time whistle in the rain in Sao Paulo. And just the one try, New Zealand and Portia Woodman. Who else? Back in the starting seven.
Final de primeiro tempo, placar parcial. Nova Zelândia 7,
United States of America still to get off to the mark. New Zealand 7 points at half-time. Well, Gillian Potter, you see there number 3, and how brilliant is to see her back in the United States starting team. Obviously an incredible battle against cancer that she managed to win, and this was just a year ago. To tell you the fight that Gillian Potter has and what she went through to get back not only to full health but get back into a USA starting team, and the performances that she's put in here in this tournament today is a credit to her.
She's been a standout performer in this tournament. She's been brilliant for the USA, really stood out on kickoffs, getting under the ball and snagging it so the USA have possession.
Come together. Let's come together and do it. Here we go. Okay?
So Zaragoza and Jill Potter ready to take their places for the second half in the rain, and it is coming down thick and heavy at the moment. 11th tournament in the series for Jill Potter. She'd love to mark it with a third place finish, but they need a couple of tries to get their noses in front against New Zealand, who lead by 7 points to 0. Let's see what the USA can do from the restart, and it will be Kelter to get us underway. Look at that. That's going to hang right on the 10-metre line. What a kick that is from Kelter. And USA get possession back. Well, anything that Nathan One can do, Kelter can match. Can she hit the ground? Needs a bit of help, though. Kelly Griffin in to rip that ball free.
Not a quick enough release by Black, knee on the deck.
Clear instructions from Rasavengi.
Yeah, it was a maul, became a tackle when the knee touched the floor, then you've got to release, and they didn't. Not quickly enough.
Kelter with a little switch, dummy switch of that. And here's the speedster, Javelin. Back to Greenling, through the gap, Greenling. Does she need help, or is she going to back herself and go the whole way? She pins the ears, the pass on the outside. Once again, USA's last pass lets them down. And now it's New Zealand who might spot a weakness in defence. Woodman shows and gives the pass back. A little step off the inside, Williams. Williams is not going to be caught. Beautiful footwork over the 22. Rasavengi, the only person on the pitch to catch up to her. And she's going to jot this one down underneath the post for the second try. The smile as well. How she enjoyed this one.
Yeah, really good finish from Nia Williams, and the awareness to step inside. Only the second try for her in her sevens career. She's not been around that long, but USA will be kicking themselves. They were so close to getting that equalising try, but as you say, that last pass, not accurate. It wasn't a big pass, it just needed to go to hand, but the ball comes out. Nia Williams looks up, sees there's no defence at home, and she's in. Rasavengi is saying, I can keep it.
Fitness routine for Rasavengi, who looks like he could do that another 20 times and be all right, but Williams sucking in the oxygen from the sideline, so off she goes, and New Zealand in control here. Substitution for United States as well. Joanne Faavesi has come on. Any chance the United States have of winning this game, they need to score as quickly as possible. Kelter gets it away, only just, and Greening did well to juggle that ball and hang on to it because she was under pressure. Thomas, this is Griffin, and on the outside is Jill Potter. Potter steps back inside, hits the deck. Griffin in support. Thomas to act as scrum half, and Faavesi. Javelin lets this one go. Greenling back to Javelin. Kelter. United States again, the passing letting them down. Thomas into contact, tackled by Tui, and it was a good one as well. Now Faavesi. Potter standing out on the wing. Little step from her, doesn't want to get forced into touch, and did well. Support again from Kelly Griffin, who breaks down the blind side. Griffin tries the handoff, throws it back. Anyone there for USA? No. is the answer, and Nathan Wong to launch a counter-attack here. 2 players outside her. Manuel still going.
2 things there. You're on the knees playing it, you've got to roll first. 2 things.
And she wins the penalty.
Roll away, tackle first.
Really clear explanation from the referee. The USA just can't quite get there, can they? Kelly Griffin made a lovely dart down the blind side, but thinking too quickly for the rest of her teammates who didn't realise she was there. Chance for New Zealand to regroup.
Manuel takes that one. Pace was that forward? It was. Good spot, Rasavengi. We were right in line with that one.
Yeah, it looked mildly forward, didn't it? Another good line from Manuel. She runs those lines so well, but yeah, you could see that just sneaks forward into the hands of Kelly Brazier.
Still no sign of Barry Villala, by the way, for the United States, which is a strange one. Ashley Perry is going to come in.
Yeah, looking down at the sideline, I can't see Barry Villala in her kit, so it might well be she picked up an injury in the last game. It would explain it because she's been such an important player for USA.
Yeah, that does make sense. All right. Kelter. Awkward one for her again, but Queening did well just to settle it down, keep possession. Javelin hasn't had too much space to use her pace, and she's getting forced all the way back towards the 22. The pass again, punishing her teammate, and New Zealand are going to eat this up all day long. Nathan Wong. Goss to keep it alive. Shipped on from Brazier. Tui. A couple of tries for her already in the series. Portia Woodman. Any space for her to work her magic? Needs the pass. United States commit themselves to the tackle. 2 minutes to play. They need to score, and they need to score quickly, USA. Still there for them. There's loads of numbers on the right-hand side. Javelin spots that. Here's Thomas. One outsider. Thomas puts her foot on the gas and loses possession. Now Portia Woodman. Can she go out? The rain bucketing down in Sao Paulo makes the handling conditions very tricky, and it's going to affect the teams for the final. But look at this, New Zealand with a complete mismatch if they spread this one. Brazier, little stab back inside. Kelly Brazier, they won't stop her. Brazier dives over the line. Try is given New Zealand, 19 points to 0.
Yeah, Brazier's been doing that all day. As soon as she sees the defender's hips pointing outwards towards the touchline, she steps back inside. She steps so well, so easily over the try line. That's it for the USA. No coming back from there. New Zealand have put the pressure on, but USA have made it hard for themselves. The pass is just not going to hand at the right time.
Conversion. No problem with that. 3 from 3 and 21 points to 0. And look at the rain. It doesn't rain much around these parts, but when it does, you know all about it.
Yeah, you wonder about the rain for the final. The game plan for Canada against New Zealand in the semi, using the big forwards, competing around the breakdown, whereas Australia have been very much about moving the ball. That might be a little bit tricky in this rain.
So Tyler Nathan Wong to get us underway once again, perhaps for the last time in this game with less than 30 seconds to go now. The switch, is that going to make 10? It's not. So USA will get possession if nothing comes of this.
I think Gillian Potter accidentally played it with her legs, so that will be play on.
Well, that's exactly what Rasavengi says. So maybe a let off there, and a quick tap and go from the captain. Goss stretches the legs. She's not going to be stopped either. USA switch off in defence, and Sarah Goss says thank you very much.
Yeah, fitting for the captain, Goss. She's not had the most standout, or rather not the most ball in hand, but she tries her heart out, plays her heart out for this team. Just sees that there's a gap. I'm not sure there was a tap there. I don't know if I saw the tap. Either way, speeds off down the touchline, gets the score in.
So it's a pretty emphatic victory for New Zealand. Can we make it 100% for Tyler Nathan Wong in the conversion attempt? She's been pretty flawless throughout the tournament, and there, right-footed strike, that's how good she is. 28 points on the board. USA with nothing in reply. Job done for New Zealand, and they will cement themselves as third place finishers. USA have to settle for fourth, but it's a hell of a lot better than Dubai, where they finished second from bottom. Full-time score, USA 0, New Zealand 28.
She's all tuned up and flying is Elia Green. The green machine is all business.
Too quick, too much pace, too much class.
This is Elia Green doing what she does best, scoring tries.
Foot to the floor. Here goes the green machine.
It is the green grass of home.
There is one of the guns in the Aussies' arsenal. And now let's get a look at the flip side. What have Canada got packing?
Brilliant step off the right.
Lovely step again, Jen Kish. This is going to be a brilliant individual try for the Canadian captain.
That was sensational from the Canadian captain.
Here comes the second to the captain. Jen Kish is in.
Kish again. This is Captain Fantastic going in the score for Canada. Unbelievable.
Here we go. Time for the big one in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Our cup final sees Australia and Canada going at it. Overall in the series, it is Australia leading 8-4. And in their most recent encounter, it was Australia getting the cash there as well. This is how the teams line up. I'm Sean Maloney, joined in commentary by ex-New Zealand legend Melody Robinson and Mel Hui, keeping an eye on in both these lineups.
Well, the key thing for Canada is that they have no Karen Paquin out injured. That's a massive loss for them. As for Australia, I just love the work of Kaslik and Quirk. Tireless, they are linked players, so clinical, they're clear on the pattern, and they are the key to Australia always getting the ball away from that congestion area.
And if you're just dialing in to our coverage via Fox Sports back in Australia or up in Canada, we have been hit with a heavy storm around about 20 minutes back. The rain began to tumble. It has not let up, but that will not have these women's spirits dampened. No siree.
Well, I think it's a major. Australia train in the sunshine. You live in Sydney. You know what the base that these girls train out of is like. They love the dry ground. That's what their skill set and their game plan is all about. This levels the game out between them and Canada. And Canada have got big forwards, so it makes it rather intriguing indeed.
They do. All will be revealed in coming moments. Will Canada go direct? We're about to find out. But right now, time for the anthems.
E agora, o hino nacional do Canadá, o National Anthem of Canada.
There are the anthems done and dusted, and this is how Australia found themselves to be in the Cup final. They are undefeated here in Brazil. They were undefeated in their last tournament in Dubai. They are a team heading in the right direction in the run towards August, where Rio will host the Olympics. Canada, just the one blip on the radar here in Sao Paulo, going down against Australia yesterday. Just a couple of key moments to find the outcome of that game. Jen Kish has been unbelievable as the rain continues to tumble down Mel Robinson. I believe Forrest Gump said it best, it's big old fat rain.
I tell you what, wipe that round robin game away, because this is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see what they've got out there.
Alhambra Nieves in charge, and it will be Landry who gets us underway. The Cup final rocking and a-rolling from South America. Sao Paulo hosting Canada v Australia, and right off the bat we see the slippery conditions strike on the hands of Alicia Quirk.
Yeah, there it is there. It looks like the Aussies are still looking to push the passes, get it out to their strike out wide, but that time when Quirk wound up to pass the big wide ball, slipped out of her hands.
5, 6.
Canada with perfect field position in which to launch their first attacking raid. The stutter step from Landry.
Holding on.
She is penalised for holding on, so Cherry goes quickly, and again they're happy to shift it. Polite will slip across the park, gets round Russell, and he's looking to link there with Etheridge. Still moving up the park. Polite has been one of her side's best here in Brazil, but she's caught the touchline there. Rasavengi's got his flag up, and Alhambra Nieves eventually catches his eye, and they'll go all the way back for a Canadian line-out throw.
Yeah, good smart tactics there from Australia, in particular Polite, because she knew she didn't want to release the ball, so she just ran across the field. So they had to maintain possession. They could have continued attack, just creeped out over the sideline.
Up goes the skipper, Kish. They peel it off, and again, it's nice and tight for Canada. Served them so well in their win over New Zealand in the semi-final, and again, that ball is just so hard to get a handle on.
You can see the Canadians' intention, you know, with that close little hit up there from Kaljuvi.
Yeah, thank you.
She looks like a bit of a unit too.
Crouch.
In for the injured Karen Paquin, who is one of the hardest runners in the series. Australia clear, and work goes back. Cherry, she's happy to play field position. You don't see a whole lot of kicking in the world of sevens, but that might just be the option here. Pinning Landry down in her 22, and she's happy to return fire. And that is a sweet kick down the park from Ghislaine Landry. That is a terrific hoist down the park.
Yeah, and it's good to see both teams assessing the options and just trying different tactics out there. Landry won the kick of the boot in And that time for sure.
Open, red. Open.
They're going to try and contest with Kish up the front.
Taking it beautifully there was Quirk. Polite takes it one off. Polite is going to power away. Polite takes it in under the dot. Australia strike first in the cup final.
Direct play from Polite. Usually she uses her footwork to astound the defence. That time, just a lovely ball from Kaslik. Look at that. Landry on the chase on the inside. Couldn't get anywhere near the pace of this young lady. Man, she's had one heck of a time here in Brazil, hasn't she?
And the conversion, the all-important conversion is through. And after 3.5 minutes of action, Australia lead Canada 7-0. She's got to be one of the most informed players in the series, was excellent in Dubai as well, and in every game here in Brazil has made some stunning touches, has pace to go with her balanced running, moving in and around the defence. Etheridge with a deep restart. Tap back is the call. Big palm coming from Kaljuvi. She's in for Paquin, but makes a Paquin-like charge. Kaljuvi. Farella with her first touch. Landry. She's so integral to Canada's chances. So is Kish, who scored one of the best tries we've ever seen on the series in her side's winner over New Zealand. Russell trying to stick her nose through. Farella. Oh, big shot from Shannon Parry. Jarred the ball free. Kaslik goes back for Australia, and they'll just bring it back and pack the scrum.
Canada trying to keep things simple by, once again, just one-off runners. They're just taking it up to the line. And that time, it was the big hit that jolted the ball free.
And if you are watching on back in Australia via Fox Sports, you've got a cappuccino in hand, it's morning. You're wondering where the locals are. They're tucked up under the stand on the far side of our camera deck, looking to seek some refuge from this huge storm that's hit us in Sao Paulo. Cherry, again, the kick is the option. Tonagato out wide, Cherry in a little tighter, and once more. Landry's back to pick it up for Canada. She's going to back herself here, Landry, and she'll try the chip chase, and now soccer through. Landry won't have the pace to get there. Back and getting tackled is Kaslik. It pops back for Etheridge. Etheridge has been busy both days here. Switching his Quirk. Still happy to give the ball a bit of air, the Australians. They're sticking to what they know, what's helped them become the #1 team in the world. But that kick, not one of Quirk's betters. Just as we say that now, Kish, she's so powerful in that pass. Back in field is okay, but it is knocked on eventually by Kayla Molesky.
Yeah, bit of a bummer there for Kish, because they just need to reorganise their counter-attack between her and Molesky. But hey, what a take. And, you know, that kick probably just a little bit too short, but Australia's intention was to try and chase it and regain possession. Green's on, and the number 12. I'd bring her close in to a ruck or a tackle area and just get her the ball early, because she might not get it out wide with these kind of conditions.
She's chasing down Emily Cherry at the top of that all-time Australian try scoring list. Ellia Green. Now Kaslik feeds out the same tunnel, so we'll just throw that one in again. Green matched up on that far side against Brittany Ben, who is no slouch herself, so if it does become a foot race, it's going to be fairly evenly matched.
Yeah, not many people as fast as Green in this competition, though.
Quirk is back, across to Cherry. She gets inside Russell, takes play just past the 22. Turner didn't start, now Parry, the captain. She knows one way, and it's forward at full tilt. Parry Good pressure from Canada. Quirk, Cherry straightens, and then he's wrapped up by Russell. Nice tackle, Russell. That's gone back. Kish made the hit. Now Kish stepping around Parry, gets the pass away, and it's through the legs and out the front of Kaljuvi. Just right there, we see how dangerous Jen Kish is.
Oh, you know, individual work from her. I actually thought it did go forward off an Australian hand in that little breakdown where she won the ball, didn't matter. Play on. You can just see, yeah, so tough out there. And don't forget, the final in Amsterdam, it was Canada who beat Australia, so they know how to take down these Aussies.
Kaslik, and she finds Quirk. Here's Green. She's going to back herself to get on the outside. Great work from Ben to halt her initially, and eventually over the top was Kaljuvi to shut down that threat. Now Turner, speaking of threats, Turner goes past Kish. Turner gets into the contact area with Landry. Now Australia will have to get numbers there because Canada have flooded the breakdown, but they've done so illegally. So important, those metres up the park from Australia, and setting off for the try line for possibly number 2, Polite. Great tackle. Getting back was Molesky. Still the ball with Australia. Quirk, footwork from Quirk. Quirk splits them. Alicia Quirk is in, and Australia are clear by 12.
Quirk is quick, and she absolutely did Kelly Russell, who's fantastic in the tight, but was in 6 and 7s when this young lady, gliding play, Australia, and they managed to keep the ball, keep possession. There it is there, accelerators on. And, you know, the defence for Canada was just really jagged, wasn't it? No one was in a line. Nobody said, I've got Quirk.
Extra 2 are good off the boot of Emily Cherry, and Australia ahead by 2 converted tries over Canada.
We don't often mention Quirk's name when it comes to the tries because she's usually the one creating them with that wonderful passing game. He's loving the rain out there.
Cherry deep. That's the key. Kick long and make your opposition shift it around in these slippery conditions. It's a long way to go via a tight game plan. It's a nice charge from Farella. Landry. They'd love to score after the halftime hooter, Canada, to get themselves into this game. Farella, oh, it's missed the mark. Will Australia play on quickly? They'll try to, but Canada reel it in. And at half-time, in the big one, it is Australia leading Canada 14 points to 0. Well, what do you make of that half, Bill Robinson? How can Canada get themselves back into this one?
Yeah, a really difficult task, really. The first thing is that they've got to work harder on defence because Australia, with the 2 tries, they've got a huge advantage already. They've got to push up and stop giving them so much space. You know, in particular, Brittany Ben with Green out there, she just gave her a lot of space. John Tate, he'll be asking them to, reminding them about their game plan, but that relies on possession, so they've got to get the pill.
All right, we're going to go on deck, finding space, moving up, okay? Hold, we're going to kick it back, and then we pass it off. The more that we move them back and forth, they're going to get nothing, okay? They're going to chase the game down, okay? So defense, connection, talk early, put them down, hit the feet, next ball, okay? Put the ball in hand, after it, okay? Deck in the half, or even if not, fill it, push up again, but we have to pick that connection in that chase, okay? We're going to go liberal, defense.
Execution, hold on to the hold on to the ball. Every time we get it back, we go. 1, 2, 3, Aussie! Never give up,
Yeah, the kick and chase tactic is something their coach Tim Walsh is wanting Australia to persist with. I guess they don't have the big players. I mean, Shannon Parry will probably be the most solid in their team, so they've got to try different tactics in conditions like this.
A Little Wilhelmina. Will the smile remain after another 10 minutes of action here in the Cup final, or will it be Landry and Ben and Kish from Canada who can find a way back into this one? Just the worst conditions for the 15 women out the middle, including our referee, Alhambra Nieves. 10 minutes of play to run after 2 days of outstanding action in Sao Paulo. Australia clear by 14 in the Cup final.
Yep, I think maybe Canada does still need to move the ball a little. They've become, you know, a little bit psyched out by the fact that it is so wet out there. Trust your skills.
Kish, the captain. If you're looking for something to do after this, you want some more sevens rugby, jump online and have a look at the try that Jen Kish scored earlier today. You'll struggle to find a better one all year. Here's Polite swooping for Australia, but getting back there was Molesky, and now here's Kish. Captain on captain. Parry manages to get a handle on her and toss her over the touchline.
Yeah, good wrestling move there from Parry. Kish often attacks down that line, doesn't she? One of her go-tos. Gee, since May last year in that London tournament, it's been all Australia in these women's 7 series leg. They won in London. They made the final in Amsterdam and of course won Dubai. Fantastic form this side.
Caslick, Quirk. Quirk has Cherry on the hard line, back into the traffic. Farrella's up to the task there and holds her up well. Look at the strength of Bianca Farrella. Comes loose though. Oh, Cherry rolls it back. Caslick pops it up off the deck. There's the first try scorer, Polite. Polite manages to get around. Oh, that looked to be slapped down. Slap back's the call. Play on's the call. Great work from Russell, and eventually it runs into touch.
Just have a little issue, Caslick, with that pass off the ground. You're on the ground, you're out of play. You can't play it. I think that was missed.
Speaking of, there is Charlotte Caslick.
Looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, but she's one little tough cookie.
One of the toughest, Charlotte Caslick. She goes to the front, talking of tough customers. Shan Parry fits that billing also. Polite. Cherry. She gets to utilise those brilliant feet. Now the kick across field for Green. Trying to get in behind Ben. Green's got a head of steam up here, and Ben's really got a motor back for it and does beautifully. Oh, that is terrific work from Brittany Ben, and Green's got to up and repeat and then dumps the runner over the touchline. Ouch.
Pretty high there too. Yeah, Ben, I don't think she knew Green was coming up behind her. But they managed pretty well there, Canada, considering. Here she is here. That's something Ronda Rousey would be pretty happy with, actually.
Yeah. So it'll be Australia's throw. Out the line out, Quirk. They go to at line out time. That is very precise in these tough conditions. Turner. Cherry again. Farrella's had her mark nicely. Green, oh, the cut was late, but back is the call. Australia play the whistle, and Cherry is going to punish Canada. It was ugly, but the 5 points are all that counts.
A switch is on in these kind of conditions because it's so difficult when you change direction for the defence to stop. Farrella did really well there. Well, fine call on whether that went back or not. But hey, referee says it's okay. Cherry's available. And Cherry on top.
Cherry can't add the extra 2 to her 5, so That leaves the score at 19 points to nil in Australia's favour.
Yep, they know they don't have to rush now. 19 points ahead. 5 minutes is still a long time in sevens, but not in these kind of conditions.
Nicole Beck with ball in hand, such a luxury for Aussie coach Tim Walsh to be able to bring on a woman of Nicole Beck's experience. There she is, Beck finds Kaslik. Kaslik goes to Green, and there's some room for Green to move. Green, start a step, and still goes. Oh my word, Elliot Green is just absolute power from top to bottom.
Those legs are hard to stop in normal circumstances, and it's a bit slippery out there. So strong, nice ball. Kaslik again involved. Here it is, Varela under pressure. Another player falls off the tackle. Australia, and the key with it too, they're playing a territory game with that kick-off. It was really deep. Canada just going backwards all day. Best thighs in rugby right there. Certainly the fastest.
Probably the top try scorer of this series. Kelly Brazier had a superb tournament here in Brazil, so did Caleb McAllister, but for the moment, Elliot Green is sitting pretty up top. 24-0 Australia are now cruising against Canada. Russell, Varela, late switch to Kish. That comes back via an Aussie boot.
Ooh. You can't say she didn't do that on purpose.
Varela. Oh, Landry has gone back, is the call. Great work over the top there from Shan Parry, the captain.
Yeah, Varela runs across the field just a little too often for my liking. She'd no one on top of her. The pass would have been on in that circumstance. Easy to say up here, I know.
So Australia will just catch their breath and they'll restart via the tap, something they do generally so well. Set play. Kaslik out the back to Quirk. Kicking in behind for Beck. Beck's on the hunt for a try of her own. Beck, oh, it's going to beat them all, and there's Etheridge spinning out of one. It falls down. In the mix there is Mahalia Murphy on debut here in Sao Paulo, and it's caught a Canadian hand and gone forward.
Maybe Landry might have been better to try and attack that herself, because she was the one coming forward. Difficult though, because Quirk's accuracy and positioning of that kick is just right on the money. Spot on.
This stop two of the 5-leg HSBC Women's 7 Series. Next up, it'll be Atlanta. Then a week later, we're going to Canada. And going on what Canada have shown here, in Brazil, they're going to be tough to turn at home. Expecting huge crowds up there in Canada as well. Good afternoon to you if you're watching on in Vancouver or Langford. There's Beck trying to get Mahalia Murphy free. Oh, the old 1-2 punch sees the number 3 jersey go in, and Australia put both hands on the cup here in Sao Paulo.
Beck, great from her. Went up to the defensive players, right up to the line. There's the end of it there, Murphy to Beck. And yeah, nice balance from the new girl there. Halia Murphy, former league player for the Gillaroos. Good to see her playing rugby sevens.
Colbeck will be smiling down in Wollongong as well, south of Sydney. They'll be smiling all around Australia with the performance of their women here in the Cup final. They are up by 29.
Yeah, you got a feel for Canada because they are under strength. They've had a couple of injuries before the tournament started. Another to Karen Paquin. They're better than this. There's no doubt about that. They'll be disappointed with their performance. But hey, the dominance of Australia, can't argue.
Parry goes low. Fighting to the death is Maleski. Excellent run from Kayla. Now Farella. It's gone forward. So Australia can have a little dabble late from the set piece. They'll set the scrum and see what they can get cooking in these shocking conditions in South America. We're just down the road from Rio de Janeiro, about 4 hours southwest, but Rio awaits, and these two teams are going to figure strongly at the Olympics. That seemed to come out the same tunnel, and for some reason it's play on, and then knocked on. It'll matter not. Australia have done it again. They've won 12 games straight on the series, and they are champions in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, Sean, they were smarter, they were slicker, the execution was better. This is a team in hot form, their second title for this series already. Come Olympics time, I would not be surprised to see them in the final. They're favourites to win that gold medal.
There are a number of teams who can threaten on their day. That's the beauty of sevens rugby. If you're off by just a touch, you're going to get caught. But if you're looking at the consistency in the run in, Australia look fairly well placed. It must be said, they are most definitely medal contenders. So too are Canada. So rain continues to hammer down here. That won't do anything to dampen the spirits of these Aussie women. Scotty Bowen in there, the assistant coach, does great work alongside Tim Walsh. Let's get a little bit of post-match reaction now.
Shannon, congratulations, champion Sao Paulo, back-to-back tournament victories. You must be delighted.
Definitely proud. We put in a lot of hard work after Dubai in the off-season over Christmas there, and just glad it paid off and the heavens opened up, so great victory.
Yeah, what about the conditions? Because we were wondering would that affect both teams. It certainly didn't affect you guys.
No, definitely. Both teams have a wet weather plan, so came into practice, and luckily we practiced in the sunshine of Australia.
You guys are setting the standard here, and it's a pretty impressive standard, if you don't mind me saying. Everyone else, it's up to them to hit that mark.
Oh, definitely. You know, we're just playing our footy, concentrating on us. Everybody knows it's a long way to Rio yet, and you know, we're just about putting good performance on the paddock leading into Rio.
Overall, the tournament, have you enjoyed it here?
Absolutely fantastic. Love it here. The sun was out until the final, but we'll take anything. But very proud of my girls, and thanks to all the supporters at home. We know it's early morning over there, but thank you very much for your support.
And obviously you have a month now to prepare for the next one, back-to-back tournaments as well, so that's going to test the squad.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of players that we need to rotate and give everyone an opportunity going into Rio. So back-to-back on the synthetic grass there as well, and the real grass. So real test for the team to be able to back it up, but they will definitely be there.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a pleasure to watch you guys play rugby. Congratulations, champions again.
Thank you very much.
It's so easy for Shan Parry after stepping into the captaincy role with Shani Williams doing herself a mischief in Dubai, and hey, a little bit of silverware to rack up on the mantelpiece at home for Shan Parry.
Yeah, well, the fact they did it without Williams, who is just the ultimate prop in terms of her work rate and what she puts out there, is impressive indeed. Here he is, Tim Walsh giving them the well done chat.
Farella getting her runners-up medal. Landry was awesome this weekend, and Kish also. Karen Paquin, we wish her a speedy recovery at the back there on the crutches. Hope it's nothing too serious and that she'll be back again, ready to do her thing in Atlanta.
Well, she's got a smile on the dial, so let's hope it's not too bad.
Giovanni Polite, who you can see there with a big grin on her face over the shoulder of Alicia Quirk. She's had some kind of a couple of days here in Brazil as well, one of her side's best. Perhaps she'll figure in the dream team, which will pump out after it's all wrapped up here in Sao Paulo.
Pity we didn't see Talina Simon too, who you saw of the arm and the sling. So they did this on 11 players too, by the way.
Indeed they did. Talina Simon unfortunately injured herself just ahead of kickoff on day one, did herself a mischief in the warm-up. Elliot Green there, right of screen, currently sitting on top of the series try-scoring list.
The officials absolutely stoked to be out there giving those medals out.
It's nothing, a little samba dancing won't fix up later in the night. That'll warm the Aussie girls up. They are happy as can be in South America. There they are. Champions in Sao Paulo. The Cup winners. Champions, Australia. Great shots there of Shannon Parry holding the trophy aloft. 12 games straight. And when you're posting wins like that, back to back to back, that's going to set you on top of the table. And that's what we cast our eyes across now. The HSBC Women's Series table, Australia. Perfect, 40 from 40. New Zealand now creep up into second spot alongside Canada. France are in the mix there too. Then England, Russia, Fiji, the United States. An improved performance here in Brazil. There are the Brazilians underneath the United States, and Spain, Japan and Ireland. And that looks like we have got ourselves Charlotte Caslick getting lots of congratulations. It has been an awesome tournament in Brazil. We trust you've enjoyed our coverage via World Rugby around the world. We'll leave you to it. It is good night and goodbye from Brazil.